Okay, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the First Five Sacramento Commission for Monday, October 6, 2025. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll and establish a quorum?
Yes, sir. Chair Serna.
Here.
Commissioner Wesley. Not here yet. Commissioner Fernandez-Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Commissioner Casirier. Not here yet. Okay. Commissioner Katari. Here. Commissioner Moak.
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy, not here. Commissioner Hassett.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Evans. Not here yet. Okay. Commissioner Guerra is going to be late today. Commissioner Boston.
Here.
And Commissioner Kravitz-Wertz.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Very good. Thank you. If you could please read our statement.
This meeting of the First Five Sacramento Commission is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast and DirecTV U-verse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Wednesday, October 8th at 6 p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/metrocable14.
Very good. Thank you very much. If you'd please rise and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's First Five Sacramento Commission meeting for October. As a friendly reminder, you're certainly welcome to address the Commission on any item that's on our published agenda or any off-agenda item as well. We ask that you please keep your comments to 3 minutes. That way everyone has an opportunity to speak if they so choose. And we welcome your testimony. So with that, first item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 1, approval of August 4th, 2025 draft action summary.
Okay, does any member of the commission have any questions or wish to pull it for a separate vote? Or, any changes? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Okay, then I entertain a motion. Chair will move. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley. No. Commissioner Fernandez-Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier. No. Commissioner Katari.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Madam Clerk, do we, I want to make clear, do we have substitutes or alternates voting today for principal members?
We do. So we would have, instead of Commissioner Wesley, we would ask Commissioner Hassett to vote to weigh in on that. And Dr. Casirier isn't here and Eric hasn't arrived yet. So we will wait for Commissioner Guerra to arrive.
Madam Clerk, did you call Ms. Hassett's name for the vote?
No, sir. Sorry. My apologies.
Okay.
Commissioner Hassett.
Now I'm just going to abstain. No, it's fine.
Very good. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, please.
Item number 2, appoint Eric Guerra to System Optimization and Sustainability Committee.
Okay.
So we had I'll just jump in real quick.
Yeah.
We had an opening on this committee when Commissioner Lloyd moved off of the commission, and she was a member of SOS committee. And Commissioner Garrick has graciously agreed to backfill and join that committee. So we were asking for your appointment today.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions from members of the commission? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Okay. At this point, entertaining a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Fernandez-Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
And Commissioner Caceres, you're not here. Commissioner Katari,
Aye.
Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good, thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 3, public comments on off-agenda items.
Okay, do we have anyone that has submitted speaker slips?
No, sir.
All right, very good. Then we will then move to the next item.
Item number 4, Executive Director's Report.
Good afternoon. Lovely to see you all today. A couple highlights from the report. I'll start with our racial equity update. I won't say too much because we do have a guest from our Equity in Action Committee who's going to be giving you a presentation today. But just a couple highlights. As you might remember, this is a 15-member committee made up of residents who live in the 14 communities that were identified for our racial equity funding. They have been meeting mostly on Saturdays for the last 3 months. It has been an amazing time. Never thought that I would say it, like, I'm excited to work on Saturdays, but we are actually really excited to get this work done. You probably all saw the announcement for funding go out in your email. We have done extensive announcement, promotion of it. This committee wanted to have a two-step process with letter of interest first. So right now we are accepting letters of interest through October 9th, so just this week. Lest you think that we didn't have enough interest, I think Lindsay gave me the latest count was 170 plus letters of interest already, I think totaling more than $21 million for our $4.2 million that we have available. So we absolutely are seeing the demand out there. And just as a reminder, these are agencies who have not had First Five funding in the last 15 years and are working only in those 14 neighborhoods. So we can't wait to dive in and give you a full update on that. That update today will be provided by Yasmin Herrera Vilchas, and she's one of the members of the committee representing Rancho Cordova area. A quick update on the Philanthropy Summit that was hosted by Sacramento Regional Community Foundation. First Five was asked to present on our Equity in Action initiative. It was an amazing day, and I think our workshop had at least 150 people in there really interested in our topic, which was trust-based philanthropy and how to work with community in bringing in their voice and sharing power with community. Everything from releasing money to evaluating programs and sharing out findings back again to community. So it was a great presentation and a great day. And my goal was to try to find some agencies, some foundations who wanted to partner with us. And I might have one on the hooks, but I'll tell you about it later. So anyway, that was really fabulous day. A couple of you were there, and thank you for those who could make it to our Potter the Otter Museum exhibit. It was a fantastic morning. Thank you, Chair Cerna, cut the ribbon and brought his special magic to that event, interacting with all the kids. And this is a reminder, we will be at the museum through January. We have a 6-month stint there, basically, and we have several free days for kids 0 to 5 and their families. Everybody gets to come in for free, and we have our partner agencies, Help Me Grow, SAC Family Connect is there and present, and our partners in Rancho Cordova in that area, Folsom Community Partnership. So families getting great services and really having a lot of fun. We are recruiting for Parent Leadership Training Institute. Thanks to our public health friends, we have money for an additional Spanish language cohort, which you'll hear about later on in the agenda. So we'll be running an English and a Spanish cohort. And we are recruiting right now for those cohorts. We'll start in January. So, and It's all over our website and everywhere else, but do send parents our way. I feel like our DEI chief at the county would want me to let you know about the Thrive Summit, so I have to say a few words. That's coming up October 15th. We've been part of the First Five has been a part of the planning committee on this, but especially the CBO mixer that is going to end our day at the Thrive Summit. We have Chair Wesley is giving the final motivational speech on the way out. We are building bridges and breaking barriers, and I hope if you aren't registered, think there's still time, so please do. It would be a great day at Sac State to talk about all things racial equity and what the county's doing and how we're building partnerships and community. First Five received an Oral Health Heroes Award from the Center for Oral Health last month. Chris Clinton and Deborah Payne and I accepted that on behalf of the commission. They really highlighted the partnerships that the Center for Oral Health has had over the years with First Five and the dental plans in running a program called Early Smiles that goes out to school districts and screens thousands of kids each year. I think last year, 1,500, maybe 2,000 preschoolers were seen and screened and referred on for services. We used to fund that program entirely, and now the dental plans fund it 100%. So it's one of those really successful sustainability programs where we launched and seeded it and handed it over, and we still get the data from it, and we still have that partnership. So it's a really lovely story. And I'll end with a quick staffing update. We're doing final interviews coming up for the Human Services Program Specialist position. That we are backfilling after Latina Price's departure. And we are also promoting internally Elena Enriquez from a senior office assistant into an ASO 1 position after we had a vacancy there. So we'll be hiring a senior office assistant later this year or early next year. Happy to answer any questions.
Great, thanks, Julie. Any questions for our executive director? None? Great, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to address the executive director's report? All right, next item, please.
Item number 5, Advisory Committee Update, August 22nd, 2025.
Great. We have Junior Goris already there. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Cerna and Commissioners. My name is Junior Goris, and I'm the Chair of the First Five Advisory Committee.
Let's get you on mic first.
Test, test. Oh, here we go. Good afternoon, Chair Cerna and Commissioners. My name is Junior Goris. I'm the Chair of the First Five Advisory Committee. The Advisory Committee met on August 22nd, and along with the standing agenda items, the focus of this meeting was the presentation of the Black Child Legacy Campaign. Members learned about the program highlights and the evaluation results from last year. The Strategic Planning Ad Hoc Committee met on September 12th to discuss Phase 2 on community feedback. This included the parent caregiver survey and follow-up focus groups. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 10th, and that concludes my Advisory Committee report, and I'll take any questions.
Very good, short and sweet. Any questions from commissioners? Don't see any.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 6, Evaluation Committee Update.
We didn't meet last month.
All right. Next item, please.
Item number 8, Systems Optimization and Sustainability Committee Update, August 20, 2025.
I'll be giving that update. So the SOS committee met on August 20th. We received updates and discussed policy and advocacy, including updates from First Five Association and First Five California. We discussed the Equity and Action Committee meetings, which we'll be hearing about later today, and the Parent Partnership Initiative. Our next meeting is on October 22nd, and that concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions? Don't see any. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 9, 2027-2030 Implementation Plan Update, review of community input and community trend report, approval of the 2027-2030 spending plan.
Great. I just wanted to say for the record, we did skip item number 7, the Financial Planning Committee update.
Sorry.
However, we did not meet, so we don't have an update on that.
Okay.
And then we'll jump to item number 9. And we have Lindsay Dunkel, who's been leading our strategic planning work. We'll give that update. A part of it.
Where did my mic go? I'm going to hand it over to Kristen to start us off.
Good afternoon. As you know, we're gearing up for our next 3-year implementation plan, which will kick off in 2027. And the proposed spend plan comes in at $11.9 million per year, or $35.7 million over the 3 years. That's about a 20% reduction from our current plan, mainly because Prop 10 revenues continue to decline, right? Fewer people are using tobacco products, and the county's birth rate is also declining. So even with those challenges, the Commission has made it a top priority to bring in new funding so we can keep our early childhood programs going strong. By leveraging outside dollars, we've been able to keep key programs and staff in place. In fact, 1.5 FTE are currently funded through those leveraged funds. And we'll keep pushing to find more opportunities like those to offset costs and protect the work we do for children and families. Today, we're asking for approval of just the high-level 2027 spending plan. The detailed allocations, so how much will go to each priority area, will be developed later through a collaborative process with the community and with all of you on the Commission. So let's take a brief look at the plan itself. Originally, we were expecting a pretty steep drop, about 37%. But thanks to unspent funds from prior years and success in bringing in outside funding, we've been able to reduce that reduction to 20%. The spending plan is built only on our core revenues, so Prop 10, our Medi-Cal administrative activities, so MA dollars, interest earnings, and other stable funding. It doesn't include any pass-through dollars we receive from specific programs, such as CalWorks home visiting. So within the plan, you'll see allocations for administration, evaluation, and program. Despite the overall reduction, we've kept the vast majority of funding, 84%, directed to programs and services for children and families. Administration represents 11% and evaluation 5%, which shows that we strongly prioritize putting the dollars where they make the most impact. Let's talk briefly about administrative costs. So as I mentioned, 11% is allocated to administration. In 2016, the Commission set a 10% cap on administrative costs based on the most recent yearly budget approved by the Commission. So yes, the proposal is just a bit over. It doesn't include any leveraged funding. So if we factor in leveraged funding like CalWorks home visiting, we actually are sitting about 8%, well within that limit. But as Prop 10 revenues continue to decline, administrative costs are naturally going to go up. So at some point, the Commission may want to revisit the 10% cap to make sure we're maintaining both fiscal responsibility and operational capacity. On the program side, that includes both internal and external costs. So internal program costs cover our staff, supplies, media, and our policy systems and sustainability work. When the Commission updated the strategic plan in 2021, we anticipated this shift, moving some focus from direct services towards system-level work that helps sustain those services long-term. And that's a trend that we're seeing across First Five statewide. So while it costs money to support the internal work, we're seeing strong returns. It's helping us bring in outside dollars to replace or supplement what the Commission once funded alone. So of that $29.9 million in total program funding, 17% goes towards internal costs, so staff salaries, benefits, COLAs, and the remaining 82.5% will go directly to contracts with community partners. The plan also supports 13 full-time positions dedicated to the strategic plan, plus one position supplemented by external funding for a total of 14 FTEs. And this structure gives us the capacity to manage contracts efficiently, process claims, and continue to pursue finding new funding. And just as importantly, it keeps us in a leadership role, helping to drive policy and systems change that improve outcomes for Sacramento's youngest children and their families. That wraps up my presentation. I'll pause here. Are there any questions or comments?
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Don't see any. Thank you.
Okay, just to remind you, we're on track to have funding decisions in place so that staff can launch the funding process by early fall of 26. So that everything will be queued up for contracts to start on July 1 of 27. So the next piece we're going to talk about is community input. And we held 6 community conversations among a number of groups around the county. We had one for Afghan parents, one for fathers, one for women experiencing homelessness, one in Spanish, and 2 groups in English. 3 of the groups were in person and 3 were virtual. And I just pulled a couple of demographics here. So here's age range, not surprising, among parents of young children. The vast majority of them were in the 30 to 39 bracket. But we did have some grandparents in there too. And then this was the ethnicity of the people who attended. So a broad swath of the Sacramento community. And of these, 22 were born outside the U.S., 23 speak a language other than English at home, 18 were caring for a child with special needs, and they represented 20 different zip codes around the county. So they each had a wide-ranging conversation where they spent time talking about their hopes and dreams for children and young families in the county. And these were the themes that emerged from the discussion. So family stability and access to supports, things like, they talked about financial challenges, about wait lists for services, about lack of transportation and impossible eligibility requirements, about figuring out where the right services were, so navigating and getting connected to the right supports, about access to quality childcare and early education, and the need for more and better language supports and culturally affirming, respectful, quality care.
Can I interrupt? When you say impossible eligibility requirements, what does that mean?
I think it means frustration at things like, I know one thing that came up was people who make too much money for subsidized childcare and have to be really careful about not bumping their income above the level for a subsidy because they can't afford to pay for it without that. So the feeling that the cutoff for income is below what makes a family whole.
Okay. All right. That's helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Healthy lifestyle, that was one that hadn't come up for us before, but a desire not just for medical care and mental health care, but for developmental screenings and supports, not surprising with 18 parents of children with special needs in those groups. But emphasizing wanting a healthy lifestyle for their children, so outdoor recreation, nutrition, sports and activities and enrichment, those kinds of things.
Before you move on, are all these themes created equal? Are they all, like, I guess, is there a prioritized list of of those themes, or is that come?
Thank you so much. Anticipating next steps.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're coming. Now that these themes have been established, staff are coming up with a list of possible strategies that fit within the First Five umbrella, and we're taking those back to community to say.
I think I understand that, but like if healthy lifestyle came up 71% of the time,
Right.
versus quality providers, still a theme, but only 26%.
Yep.
Like we want to know what.
Yeah, so we're going to ask community to rank them and say what's most
so that's
important.
another step.
But yeah, when we take the strategies back to them to see if we got it right.
But Commissioner Moak, from a qualitative research standpoint, you avoid ranking themes. If it's a theme, it's a theme, right?
Sure,
It's an
we just-
interesting,
yeah.
But that's why these steps
In the
are
environment where we
necessary.
can't do everything,
Right.
I just was curious how to.
I think this second step is the way to get at that. But when you're just reporting out themes, you kind of don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So next one was community gathering and being together. This is one we've heard a lot since pandemic. People feeling isolated and wanting to be able to be in connection. Checkups and check-ins is families wanting regular support with their physical and emotional well-being, especially around that perinatal time period. And they talked about being able to get information, advice, and again, help navigating resources and coaching that might come from. One idea was a follow-up phone call to new parents. Parent learning. They talked about wanting to learn about child development, about childbirth, about healthy development, and about how to advocate also. They didn't necessarily use, they used words like classes and workshop, but there was acknowledgement that they just don't have language for how else it might look, but they really want the format to be interactive and the agenda to be parent-driven. And they also talked about the importance of having incentives for parents to participate because it just helps give that extra nudge for them to be there. Things like diapers is a big giveaway that's helpful. Developmental supports. Special attention and care for families and with children with developmental challenges. So identifying them, getting them connected to more timely screening and supports, and gatherings with other parents who are parenting similar children, those kinds of things. And one thing that we also didn't do that you'll hear throughout this is we didn't say, oh, we do that. Right? We did follow up with a lot of these groups with resources so that they got connected, but we didn't interrupt the conversation to tell them those things because you can hear help me grow all through that one, right? Communications. So families didn't feel like they know what services and supports are out there. I talked with one mother who had no idea that there was free preschool in the county of Sacramento. So yeah, well, I just once again a reminder not to check my assumptions, right? So providers and agencies like First Five have info for families, but they don't always reach them. So they talked about ways to bridge that gap, including better use of libraries. And then quality providers. This was kind of an overarching thing that links back to that idea of cultural responsivity. But many of the groups talked about the importance of those quality caring providers, both in the early education and the medical field, sort of across, and social services. And they talked about supporting those providers so that they have access not only to training, but to healing and supports for themselves so that they have a fuller cup when they're supporting families. And then job and career training. So they talked about wanting access to ladders that would help them earn more money. So that is what we heard. from the focus groups or community conversations, as we're calling them. And then we also have community trend data, which you often review. Let me get back to my page with these notes. It's prepared for us by our partners at Applied Survey Research. And it's reflective of First Five Sacramento's priorities. And it's updated regularly. It lives on our website. So the current version has been realigned for the new strategic plan. And it will go live on our website tomorrow after you all have seen it. And now the question is, Maria, can you click on the,
Yes.
it should link us to the, oh, terrific. So this is a tool that staff will use, but I wanted you to know that it was there, and many of our grantees use it as well. That's why we have it live on our website. And you can see that we have a number of priorities there across the top. Maria, if you'll scroll down a little bit, we have a county trend, a state comparison, and a disparity rate for each of the indicators where we have the data. And I think for our purposes here, the most the thing that we would lean on the most is the county trend, because you're not resetting your priorities. You're tweaking your implementation plan. So what's changing in the county is probably most of interest for us here. Can you scroll back up, Maria? This
Sure.
is going to be a fun two-handed operation. Could you click on highlights on the, so you'll see that there's yellow, red, and green indicators. The green means we're doing great. The yellow means, medium, not quite sure where it's going. And red means, particularly for county trend, it's trending in the wrong direction. If you hover over any of those colored dots, can you hover over one of those? It'll give you a little bit more information. And then you can also click through and get you can get the specifics about what's happening. I think if you...
Just click on it.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
It's not...
Sorry. That's all I get.
Ah, okay. What if you click on the... on the name of the...
This
Is there
one?
anything clickable over there? Yeah. There we go. Maybe not.
No, it's not showing anything.
Okay, if you go back up to the top and you click next to highlights, I swear that you could click through. Yeah, how about that one? Here's where the detail lives. And then within these, also, you can get additional detail by clicking on that information. And you have data sources. I gave you in your handout all of the highlights, and I included the data sources on there because I know that's always of interest. It's been a bit of a journey trying to figure out which publicly available data best support our priorities. We had a lot of discussion around parent partnership and what was there. You want to click on parent partnership, Maria?
While she's doing that, can I ask? Was the structure of this tool or this utility, was it developed by ASR?
Yes.
So I understand the interest in having a state comparison element to it, but what would it take, or maybe they have it off the shelf, to compare Sacramento County to other similar,
Similar-sized counties.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
and regional.
There's so many other metrics in the land of county governance and service delivery where we don't simply, put ourselves up against the other 57 counties. We intentionally look at Contra Costa County or Alameda County, counties of a similar size, counties that have a larger unincorporated area, counties with similar numbers of municipalities within county boundaries. So I would be much more, I think the state comparison's fine. It gives us a benchmark to compare, but I would want to see how we are relative to some of those more similar surrogates.
Yeah, thank you. And we had a discussion about that as well. I do think it tells us a lot more than just a comparison to the state.
Commissioner Wesley?
Shucks. Would that include, Chair Cerna, would that include, like, when you say comparable, is it the size of the county? Is it demographics? Is it areas that they're also tracking?
There's a collection of counties that exist. I want to say it's 7 to 10 counties in the state that we use for everything from comparing salaries for different positions to budgets to number of people on general assistance. I mean, there's a whole spectrum of data that help us understand where we are, where the county is relative to those counties. So it's all the above. So, Mr. Moak.
And I think you're continuing. I would just also all of us remind ourselves that this is 2022 data. The world has changed a lot in the last 3 years, let alone 9 months. So I think just, basing some of those, anything.
I would say, too, that it was still very anomalous because of the tail end of the pandemic.
Sure. So just, I just always get nervous when things are based on a time that isn't now.
Mm-hmm.
Wholeheartedly agree. And that's where the real-time conversations with the parents really can make up some of that difference. They're not going to give us data, but they'll give us their perspectives.
No, I think Commissioner Milk brings up a great point. But again, this is 1 year after we were, yeah. So I don't put a whole lot of, I don't invest a lot of faith that this is very representative based on those important footnotes. So it would be, I think, if we can start seeing more current data and data that is collected or assessed when we're not just ending the throes of, a once-in-a-century pandemic, that would be, I think, much more informative.
Yeah, wherever they could, ASR tried to get data that was newer than 2022, and each one has its own timeline. But when you click through the details, you can see what those are. Mm-hmm. So not all of it is from 2022, but wherever it's possible, where it's more updated than that.
Commissioner Wesley?
Yeah, so with that said, because you talked about the parent context and that, this is from 2022, but it's the parent story that will really give us where we should be situated now. Am I hearing that? Okay.
Yeah. And these are both things that staff will be using in bringing you those recommendations about which strategies are the priorities. So just wanted to update you along the way. And that is all I have for you on that today.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Did the the community conversations, did they see this data, or did they?
They did not see
No,
this data.
there were just other methods to get them talking about different things. Okay, great, thanks.
Commissioner Wesley.
I have a lot on this one. What struck me in just thinking about the providers and the providers' well-being as the ones who are touching and impacting families, how important that is, and how I know we only have so much money, but even, how do we help connect the caregivers for the caregivers to supportive services, or navigate them elsewhere for those resources. Just being a preschool teacher myself, and just hearing a lot of stories around vicarious trauma and what that means, because you're public facing, you're serving a large constituent of our Sac County families, and so you're bearing witness to stories. You're seeing it up close. You're hearing about. I'm going home to maybe no food. Sometimes you're the ones, the caregivers are creating their own like mini food banks, and so you're seeing it like concrete needs of support. Yep. And I'm just thinking about who's caring for the caregivers. We know first and foremost are the families, period, hands down. But these are the folks who are doing, I always say, God's work. Mm-hmm. So like who's taking care of them so that those mirror neurons, sorry, getting technical, can exude in a positive way to support those families.
Yeah. And I'm participating in a project through the city of Sacramento. The child care manager there is leading a project where creating a website for providers to connect providers to all kinds of services, being aware that those child care providers are often using public services themselves, but also we're very conscious about what we can do around the mental health needs, and that's being driven by the providers who are in that work group.
Yeah, and there's research that just show that 25% of our child care community relies on Medi-Cal and other public subsidies, 50% on like housing support. So you have like, I don't like to put deficit terms, but that's the only way I could do it. It's like the vulnerable is caring for the vulnerable. Yep. And so we have to really think about that fragility.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I just think, looking back at this last year, we were able to, with First Five California funding, do a lot around home visitor wellness, and the main reason that home visitors stop working in the field is mental health, secondary trauma, and going back into crisis every day over and over and over again. And so we just focus the entire day on bringing supports and looking at what can we do long term for those providers. And we still think about it all the time. Our group still kind of meets to discuss it. But that, I think, is a theme that we're seeing about the vulnerable, providing services to the vulnerable across the board for what we do. So we often come at it from the top down of like, well, let's make sure our providers are culturally resonant and have training and all of that stuff, but really it is also it's a and they need that, and they need that support to stay in the field. Yeah, and that came across from parents. Yeah.
Okay, does that conclude your report?
It does.
All right, very good. We've already had a few questions and some back and forth from commissioners, but Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to address this matter?
No, sir.
All right, very good. And we do need to take a vote. Correct? Yes.
Yes.
All right, so entertain a motion at this point. Chair will move. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Don't everyone jump up at once. All right. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez de Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Kachari.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good, thank you. Thanks again for the report and all the work that went into it. Next item, please.
Item number 10, approval of a revenue agreement with the Sacramento County Department of Airports in the amount of $55,000 for research and development consultation on building a child care center at Sacramento Metropolitan Field and expenditure agreement with Child Action Incorporated in the amount of $25,000 for child care expertise.
We'll have Lindsay will take the lead on this, and you don't even need to do anything more, Lindsay. I think that summarized the entire item just in the title. It's a very long title.
I will tell you that's the first time in my tenure here and on the Board of Supervisors that I've seen our airport's designation, three-letter designation, actually spelled out in any kind of agenda or staff report.
For those who wondered what SMF
Yes.
stood for, now it has become clear to all of us. This is a very exciting item. At the first Thrive conference at Sac State, one of my colleagues brought Cindy Nickel over to me and said, Lindsay, this is Cindy Nickel, the director of airports, and she wants to talk to you. And I thought, what on earth does the director of airports want to talk to me about? Well, it turns out childcare. So we have been exploring with staff, and we have Stephen Clark here today, who's been helping us.
The Stephen Clark.
The Stephen Clark.
The Stephen Clark.
Deputy Director of Operations at the airport.
Indeed. Over the last several months, we've been sort of doing a little exploratory research and having conversations. Julie and I got to go tour a space at the airport and think about the feasibility of doing child care for people who work at the airport. So that is not just county staff, but that is all of the vendors who work out there. So a huge variety of people. And we are really excited about the idea of helping shepherd the possibility of some more employer-based child care in Sacramento County, which there's not a lot of. And so we drafted a proposed scope of work to coordinate a study, including convening experts and stakeholders to explore the feasibility. Would this work? Is this something that the airport can take on? And part of the study will consider the use of some existing space in Terminal B as an interim facility. The airport is planning a new administrative building long-term that a child care center could potentially be a part of. So this scope of work is just through June 30th of 2026 to do some research and convene some experts. And as part of that, we would be subcontracting with Child Action Inc. for their expertise around child care. And the other super exciting piece of this is that Senator Ashby was interested in funding this and was able to identify $1.5 million that will be allocated to the Department of Airports. So that is my report.
Great, very good. Are we going to hear from Mr. Clark? Yeah. Stephen? That's your cue?
Chair Cerner, Commissioners, I didn't sign up to speak, but more than happy just to say a few words of appreciation. Just very quickly, it's been a pleasure to work with the group in coming in here today, and actually really looking forward to the next couple of steps. On a personal note, for the folks out of the Department of Airports, airports run like a county and like many cities. There are 4,000 of us who carry this badge out there and serve our community. There are now 14 million folks that now come through the doors that we serve there. And so we're open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And for many of us out there, we have little ones. Just a very quick personal story for me. When I started my career almost 20 years ago in aviation as a baggage handler, I actually had a son. My son was born back then. He's now 15 and about 6'3", 180 pounds. Chair Cerna knows him. He's met him a couple times. And I made $12.50 an hour as that baggage handler, and I couldn't afford childcare for my son, and I was on food stamps. And I was on food stamps until about 8 years ago, actually, in aviation. And so to be able to work with a group here and be in front of you today actually means more than you'll ever know. And so for us to be able to take these steps is a big deal, and I'm really looking forward to not only delivering this project for our community, but for those 4,000 individuals who live and work through life out there at SMF. So looking forward to bringing some more updates, but thank you for everything you're doing for our community, and looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate you being here. Commissioner Guerra.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. First, that story just exemplifies the question I was going to ask, or maybe direction here. If the study could also include if there's a possibility to have a Head Start component to it, because a lot of the workers that are in the airport, particularly service workers and whatnot, may not be able to afford what current employer-based childcare costs are. Most recently, I think when we had both Javier and Matias in, it was $3,200 a month, and that's because we got a discount. So it really, I think if there is a way, and we have the opportunity to do a study here, can we do that through SETA, Head Start, and have a component for that split?
Absolutely.
Great suggestion.
We're super interested in exploring a mixed delivery system for the finances for the paying of the childcare.
Commissioner Moak.
And just on that, just because we're first five, we're not of the assumption that it's only a 0 to 5 facility. We would be able to go outside. We would just perhaps be funding our portion for 0 to 5 families.
The model as it looks right now is not to have first five funding go into the project.
Sure, right.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But the airports already did a sort of a quick and dirty initial survey of their workers, including vendors and county, I think including vendors and county staff. And it was all ages, although I think it was 2 to 3 years old was the highest need area. Gosh, I wish I had lifted it.
He's jumping. He's ready to come. He has the info.
Yeah, he's got it right there. Okay, so we already did kind of
expert.
look at some of those things just to see what was.
But to be clear, if we have no fiscal interest,
no fiscal interest,
it makes
just as
great.
It's sort of part of our new role, Commissioner Moak, is as our funding decreases, we stay relevant by setting tables for others to make things happen for kids and to change the systems for kids.
Love it.
Yeah, the model that we're looking at is more the management side. So because the need at the airport is actually going to be larger than any facility we could ever build, the focus for us is really going to be based on focusing really more on the tenants, right? So those folks that are going to be the food vendors, the airlines, really not necessarily county employees on day one. Now there may be a portion of those users that we dedicate to that, but that's actually going to be a part of kind of the initial work is what is the right mix there? And so to the question that was asked, the actual, the amount of age groups, it is very diverse. But actually, and I'm just pulling this up right in front of you here, so I apologize for just a moment here. It was, our highest need was 1 to 4, but there was about 20% that were actually above the age of 10. Which is quite unique, and a lot of that speaks to after school care, because of where
summertime.
SMF is at in the county as well. So that'll be something. Actually, one of the things that we've talked about is, do we want to do a little bit of a deeper study? Because our survey work was done by Department of Airport staff, so there's an opportunity for us to do a little bit more academic research there.
While you're at the podium, I think I asked you, or we had a conversation recently, Stephen, about this, but the 1.5 state contribution specifically will be used for what? Capital improvement plus operations for a certain amount of time, or just the capital
Yeah,
improvement?
just capital improvement is the idea there. So we have an existing shell space that was built with Terminal B, the project that was completed many, many years ago. And so that space has currently been sitting vacant. It provides us an opportunity to build the interim facility that we've talked about. And so it's really an ideal space for us. And then as we look long-term for a more dedicated facility, we'll look for the size and scope there.
So the question that I asked you earlier a few weeks ago, one-on-one, I'm just going to ask it again so the rest of the commission can understand it. What is then the expectation for who and how will that ongoing M&O cost be taken care of? Is it going to be Airport Enterprise Fund? What can we expect in terms of making sure that this just doesn't present itself? We all think it's great, and it serves a very useful purpose at the airport. But I think all of us are interested in understanding sustainability. So
yeah, I think the final model is ultimately going to be determined by the final mix. But one of the things that I've been learning in conversation, especially with our tenants and our business partners, is there's a need for them to offer this as a benefit to and bringing the quality of employees that we have in our region. This is an opportunity for them to come to the table. At the end of the day, this will be an airport enterprise project. So this is not going to go and hit the general fund in any way. And so, ultimately, as these funds come into the Department of Airports, as Senator Ashby's dollars come in, those are coming into the Department of Airports. Any additional funds for facility improvements, those are Department of Airport funds. And then those users of those facilities are going to be paid for by the employers or those employees themselves.
Okay, understood. Commissioner Guerra.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that point up, Chair, because this is why I think the unique split model could work with Head Start, because Head Start does cover even landscaping maintenance and facility maintenance and administrative costs. So if there's a way to, obviously accounting appropriately for space and time, but if there's a way for some of that overhead that could be managed in that way, that might actually make it easier for those who do not qualify for Head Start. But Head Start does not absolutely cover capital, period. And that's, I think, been the disconnect.
Yeah, and just to make a comment very quickly, I think one of the things that I found in research from other airports, there's very few airports that actually have successful childcare facilities because they've actually they've really hinged their success on public dollars. And so one of the things that we really want to build is a sustainable model that focuses on a facility that isn't just dependent on public dollars, right? So if something, I'm thinking of a facility at a major hub airport that used ARPA dollars, and we all know what happened to ARPA dollars, right? So as soon as those dollars are gone, that facility closes, right? So how can we build a model that is more sustainable?
Very good. Yes.
Okay. Oh, I was actually going to ask, would there be an opportunity to maybe do a split where there's an employer contribution, if it's an employer benefit, then there's maybe there's incentive.
That'd be negotiated, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The other piece around the Head Start, even though they don't have capital dollars, they do tend to have money for startup, for materials. So there's other ways to contribute to once you're setting up those program environments for infant toddlers, for preschool. And then I was just thinking about the after school, because that's huge. As a mom of 5 and having mixed age groups, it was difficult to have kids in all age groups, and then you have your school age children. So I wonder if there's an opportunity to work with some school age partners around this if we decide to go in the direction to serve older children.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thanks again, Stephen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And certainly one of the things I'm going to look at that I uncovered is that there are, as Stephen was alluding to, there are childcare facilities at airports that have closed. And so those will be as important to look at as the ones that have ones that are open and functioning.
Very good. And just for those that may not understand, when we say enterprise fund, that is a distinction. It's not just reserved for airports. We have several different enterprise funds for the county, but these are services or facilities or both that are self-funding. So it's funded by fuel flowage fees and landing fees and all kinds of revenue that is unique and distinct to that particular operation. So it's not a general fund funded operation. So, all right, very good. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir.
Okay. We do need to consider adopting the revenue agreement. So this is an actionable item. Is there a motion?
I'll move the item.
It's been moved. Chair will second. Roll call
Second.
vote, please.
Chair Sarna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks again, Stephen. All right, next item, please.
Item number 11, approval of revenue agreement with the Sacramento County Department of Health Services, Public Health Division in the amount of $48,000 and amendment to Sacramento Children's Home contract in the amount of $48,000 to implement a Spanish language BLTI cohort.
Great.
Dr. K.
I need to recuse myself because this
Okay.
is from Public Health.
Feel free to go sequester yourself back there.
Okay.
Oh.
We will let her get settled back there. All right, great. So I alluded to this earlier in my executive director's report, but we do have enough funding that we've allocated as a commission in our current 3-year spending plan to host one cohort per year for Parent Leadership Training Institute. And over the last few years, we've had funding from DC FAS, funding from our health plans and others so that we could have an additional PLTI cohort. We're getting better and better with less and less training involved, and so the cost for the additional cohorts has been decreasing with each one, and we're now down to we can do this one for $48,000. We can bring in an additional full 25-member cohort. So that is what is before you today. This is public health CDC dollars that need to be spent out by May 30th, I think. Yes, by May 30th. And both of these will be, both cohorts will be implemented through our contract with Sacramento Children's Home. So this would be passed through of funding directly to Sac Children's Home to add that additional cohort.
Great. Thank you. Does that conclude the staff
Yes,
report?
that concludes.
All right, very good. Any questions for our executive director? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak?
No, sir.
All right, with that, entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Sarna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Next item, please.
Item number 12, approval of contract amendments for Birth and Beyond partners to reallocate funding after the loss of AmeriCorps revenue.
Great, thank you. Chris Clinton, who oversees our Birth and Beyond programs, will take this one.
Here it is. Oh, it's fine. Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Chris Clinton, and I am the program planner for the Birth and Beyond contracts. On April 28, 2025, CAPC received official notice from the Department of Government Efficiency that 3 of its programs were terminated, including the Birth and Beyond Home Visiting AmeriCorps contract. The loss of the Home Visiting AmeriCorps contract has created significant challenges to the staffing infrastructure across all 9 family resource centers. To ensure continuity of services, and to strengthen staffing capacity for all 9 Family Resource Centers, staff is requesting approval to terminate the AmeriCorps expenditure agreement with CAPC and reallocate those funds, and to amend the CAPC Birth and Beyond fiscal agent contract to increase it by $192,472 for program oversight and contract monitoring for the term July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2027, and to amend the expenditure agreements with all 9 Birth and Beyond Family Resource Centers to increase the Empowered Families expenditure agreements. Each FRC would receive an additional $43,000 per year, totaling $774,000 in reallocations for the term July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2027. Thank you for your consideration.
Great, thank you, Chris. Any questions? Okay. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to address the commission?
No, sir.
All right, very good. In that case, bring it back for a motion. Chair will move. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good, thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 13, approval of 2026 meeting calendar.
Great. The calendar is in your packet. We would be meeting for a total of 7 meetings in 2026. And I have one caveat to this, is that our equity in action work is progressing, but we are going at the speed of trust in the community and getting work done with a 15-member committee. Our goal is to bring you those recommendations for approved funding at the January 12th meeting. If we get hung up at all along the way, because the committee is learning this work as they do it, we may need to bring it to February meeting. So we may be asking for a flip-flop. So when we send out the calendar invites, once you approve this, we're gonna add a February meeting onto your calendar, and we will cancel one or the other depending on. So thank you for your flexibility on that. And just do notice that it's January 12, which is not the first January or first Monday in January because of holidays and the availability of this room. Right. So it's the second Monday. And then as an attachment to the calendar, it's very skeleton, but you can see the long-range calendar of the things we know about right now that we would be approving at each of those meetings. And happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you, Julie. Any questions for our Executive Director? All right, don't see any. Madam Clerk, anyone sign up to address the commission on this matter?
No, sir.
Okay, we do need to approve the calendar. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia. Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 14, presentation, Equity and Action Committee.
Fabulous. So I'm super excited to ask Yasmin Herrera Velchas to come and join us at the podium. Yasmin is a community member from Rancho Cordova. Has been with the group since day one here and is going to give you a brief PowerPoint presentation to talk about the work of the committee.
All right, very good. Welcome, Yasmin.
Good afternoon, Chair Serna and Commissioners. My name is Yasmin Herrera Vilches, and I am a member of the Equity in Action Committee. I'm very happy to provide this update for you today. Let's see here. Here's a picture of our group. We have been hard at work since our first meeting, June 14th. There are 15 members in this picture. Our second meeting was hosted at Fruit Ridge Community Collaborative. So our strategic, this is the guide, this is what guides the work our committee is doing right now. Okay. Yeah, so we're, should I read this? Okay, okay. All right. Facilitator Melanie Richardson discussed the stages of team building, forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. The group has come together in performing, in the performing stage right now. Members of the group took ownership and were working on a glossary of terms and a yearbook. We got to know a bit about each other, set group agreements, got background information on the first 5 and priority committees. The committee members are now ambassadors in their communities for First 5 and Equity in Action Initiative. The committee designed a process that fit everyone's needs, received information, and ask questions as a whole group. We broke into small groups for discussions, come back as a whole, and we come back as a whole group and lift the key points each small group brings up. We make a decision as a whole group using the first 5 methods to come to a consensus. Okay, so the RFP language and process lacked inclusivity and equity. Outreach efforts targeted mainstream and non-traditional outlets that did not reach diverse audiences and relationships. Selection process favored incumbents and did not result in new contracts. Structural barriers kept new partners out, like audit and insurance requirements or policies on advances, and small CBO might need to scale up. So basically, this is what shifted, right? Programs that serve families is what we decided to fund. Programs that serve families as far as immediate individual needs, that provide services or supplies directly to families, such as diapers, housing help, mental health services, etc. We decided to fund programs that serve families' intermediate individual needs to provide or supply. Okay, so we decided to fund as well programs that support changing systems, to work in improving how a whole system works, changing rules, policies, and practices to make the system work better for everyone. Programs that support parent leadership and organizing, help communities speak up and advocate and lead solutions. And we decided to fund one-time funds up to $9,999 for purchase of materials, supplies, technology, training, or similar. Okay. So I am one of our community members, and we are Equity in Action. This slide is an example of a social media outreach. The messages ran twice on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn with a small ad buy to reach new audiences. Media advisory with social media content and graphics was sent to local media. We have an outreach contract with the Sacramento Observer for digital and print ads, and are running on Metro Cable. Direct emails have gone out far, wide, to approximately 1,500 organizations, community members, and parent advocates, including First 5 contractors and contacts, meaning people who apply for PLTI programs, participants in community assemblies that brainstorm the Equity in Action Committee recruitment process, and participants in the last 2 rounds of focus groups, county leaders, CBO lists from community elected officials and chambers of commerce for inclusion in their outreach. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share our update today.
Very good. Good job, Yasmin.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Any questions? All right, very good. Thank you. All right, that is just a, I don't want to say just, that was a terrific presentation, but we're not voting on anything.
This is not a voting item. We did have another member here. Maria Lopez is also she's on our advisory committee and the Equity and Action Committee, so I just wanted to recognize her.
Did you want to address the commission?
Oh, lovely.
That looked like more than just changing seats.
Sorry.
So.
Thank you. I was part of the first parent leadership training. After that, it was like snowballing into how else can I learn? How else can I show up for the community? I'm also part of the advisory committee.
What's your name for the record?
Maria Lopez.
Thank you.
Sorry, yes. I'm also excited about the new Equity and Action project. Knowing not much of the grant process, we're questioning things and asking questions and questioning answers. And that's getting us to know where the gaps are to better the process, to make funding more accessible and also more equitable for everybody who doesn't have that overhead or the knowledge. So we're definitely reaching out to everybody as we can to make sure that they're included in the process. So just wanted to say that.
Questioning the answers. I'm going to so steal that. All right. Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I just had a question. The next to last slide spoke to grants of $5,000 to $9,999, and then the media piece seems to suggest up to $500,000. What is the reconciliation of that?
I can speak to that. You want me to? Okay. So there's actually 3 different tiers of funding. The $5,000 to $9,999 is for one time, one thing. So an agency or a parent group or a nonprofit, they have a need that's just a one-time capacity building need, they can apply for those dollars. Then we take a jump. The next tier is funding that is $125,000 up to $300,000. So those would be for smaller projects at $50,000 a year for 2.5 years. And we, when we crunched the math on those, I think we were looking at, we have the capacity to fund somewhere between 11 and 15 of those. And then when we get to the third and highest tier, that's $301,000 up to $500,000. So those would be larger grants. We can fund fewer of them, but the committee thought it was good to put some parameters around that and say some of it would just be one time and some of it would be for all 2.5 years. Did I do that justice for you?
Yes.
And?
I also, before I step away, I wanted to make sure that I was part of the training for Black ECE. I am an early childhood educator. I participate with the Raising Quality Together. So with that, I'm constantly getting trainings on how to make sure I don't only have eyes for my culture or what I'm being taught, but culturally diversity. So I think Lindsay had asked me to write something, and it was one of those things like I never did, but I just wanted to say that Black ECE definitely makes an impact on asking questions and questioning the answers to make sure that we're all being viewed and valued.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Wesley.
Thank you, because I'm a part of Black ECE. I had probably for you, Julie, and team. My question was, if I understood it, there were $21 million that came in for
requests so far, and it's not closed yet.
I am so curious. So I'm curious. I don't know if the rest of the chairs are about, knowing that, and we know we can't fulfill them all, but is there a trend? Is there something that we're seeing?
Yes.
And then because of that, is that a way for us to look at systems level work and leveraging dollars and all those things that you're already doing, like strategic partnerships and, so forth?
Fabulous question. Just the thing that I think the first one we received and many thereafter have been around childcare, as you can imagine. Started off with a question about, can we pay for childcare slots? And this was something that we did not think to inform the committee that this commission does not actually pay for childcare slots. So something to circle back to them and say, what else can we do around systems change or capacity building or quality improvement around childcare? So we have been getting the word out that it's not for childcare slots, and then a big chunk of the one-time, one-thing money is have been requests from family childcare homes or childcare centers for equipment or training or field trips, literally building tiny toilets and things like that so that they could have a longer term effect with the money and that they could continue to serve families again and much as what Department of Child, Family, and Adult Services did by targeting their dollars in and understanding childcare was such a need in their zip codes. We're not at all surprised that so much of it has been childcare related and is in those same zip codes and a couple more. So again, I think there will be quite a few, at least of the one-time dollars that are going to be going toward childcare.
Very good.
Yes.
Thanks
Can I say
again.
one last thing is,
Sure.
it's in the commission letter, but I just kind of wanted to draw attention to it. There likely will be some agenda items related to changing the commission's policies or clarifying our policies and practices in order to fund these smaller grassroots agencies, understanding that we're still a county department. So some things the commissioners have control over and some things are like county-wide universal things that if you are purchasing things, you must use this process to do it. But it's things around our advance policy. And some of these agencies will need more than a 20% advance to do the work. I know the city of Sacramento is grappling with this as part of their Children's Trust Fund dollars. So looking at what is a reasonable, of course, things will come back as cost, risk, benefit ratio stuff. But we will do some work around some of those, but I could see our advance policy might need to be updated. Insurance requirements, again, the $2 million insurance requirement can be a lot for some small agencies. And some looking at some of our just internal contracting, monitoring, reporting, evaluation requirements to make this as least burdensome as possible for those agencies that do get awarded, while still allowing us to be able to tell the story and show the achievements of the agencies. So it's not just a one and done thing. We'll be coming back and forth with you and telling you as we learn what's needed, we'll be bringing it to you for policy decisions.
Very good. Thank you, Julie.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, and again, thank you to our two speakers. Appreciate you. All right, our last item for the afternoon is the commission's opportunity, individual commissioners' opportunity to address anything that's on your mind. Seeing none, all right. I want to thank everyone who joined us here this afternoon. Thank staff for their work as usual, very detailed, thorough work. And if there's no further business in front of this commission, we stand adjourned.